Is up?
What is up?
That's it.
Buffalo
You gotta love
fanatics.
You gotta love it.
Z-Bot Rico. It's Rico in Bot on the Buffalo Fanatics YouTube channel on a Friday night. And it's not just any Friday night, Rico. It's the Friday before the first Buffalo Bills game of 2025. We're a little more than 48 hours away. Talk to me, brother. Are you amped up or what?
I was amped up all week. Then I watched the Thursday night battle between the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. The spit gate was happening. Dak Prescott almost willed his team back to get the dub, or at least to bring it close, and CD Lamb decided to be a lamb. Oh boy, meek CD Lamb. 4 drops in the game. Listen, it was good to have football back. And then I'm getting news that we may not have a full complement of Bills players to go into our game up against the Ravens in week 1. And I'm waiting to hear the people say, but it's just preseason, they'll be fine. Oh, are they? Oh, I can't wait to hear some of y'all come in and tell me it's going to be all right. Stop. I was trying to tell y'all, you don't want to listen to me. Little old Rico, you worry too much. Listen, let's not start on a negative note. Let's have a great time. Bot, talk to me. What are we saying for this week up against the Ravens? This week of football, it starts. Talk to me. What are you feeling?
I'm feeling everything. What a time to be alive. It's the most wonderful time of the year. I saw this video the other day. It put it perfectly. Guy goes, what does the NFL season mean to you? And the guy replied, what does air mean to my lungs?
Oh, my.
That's what he replied. And Caroline just laughed in the background because even she loved that. Because I'm sending it to her now. Because when something happens, hey, can we do this on this day? I just send the video. What does the NFL season mean to you?
What does air mean to my lungs?
Yes.
What does an unnecessary roughness mean to you? What about skull to helmet? I died the whole way through listening to that. I formation, wing T, wishbone tight.
Yeah. With that music playing too, it's just the absolute best. But I'm feeling great. A ton to get into tonight. I mean, really, where do we begin? We have the Thursday nighter last night. What an insane game that was. Maybe the most insane season opener of all time. At the very bare minimum, it was the most insane first 5 minutes of a season opener, probably in NFL history. One of the most insane moments really we've ever seen in a game. And I think it'll be a moment that we will remember for some time. I've been getting some crap for this because I said I think we'll remember it forever. Oh, who cares? Whatever. Well, I think we'll remember it forever because you can't discuss the 2025 NFL season without bringing up how it begins. And how it began was Jalen Carter spitting on Dak Prescott. It was absolutely nuts. Tonight we have Chiefs Chargers in Brazil. Free on YouTube, by the way. If you thought you had all your streaming services figured out, you don't, but at least tonight's free. You're going to watch it right where you're at right now, watching us. And then, of course, we have a full slate coming up this weekend, including our Buffalo Bills, who cap off Sunday night in Buffalo under the lights in the last home opener ever at the Ralph. So just a ton going on, a ton to talk about. But Rico, we got to start with what we saw last night because the football season was kicked off in Philadelphia, a banner-raising night at Lincoln Financial. That game starts off in the most insane way you could have possibly imagined because not only right on the kick do the Eagles suffer a potential season-ending injury to one of their special teams players, which thoughts to him, because could it just get any more unlucky than the first play of the year where the guy blows his leg out? You could see it in his face. He instantly knew, like, this is done. So following that up, before we even get Dak Prescott under center for the first snap of the season, he spits on the ground between his two linemen, which we didn't know about until about 3 hours into the broadcast after the hour lightning delay, which was hell on earth having to sit through that. But he spits on the ground. Jalen Carter, for whatever reason, approaches the huddle of the Dallas Cowboys, and with the sky cam draped right on top of him, spits on Dak Prescott and is immediately thrown out of the game. What were your thoughts on that, Rico? Because we were going nuts over here. I've never seen anything quite like it. He got tossed, and I think that might just be the beginning. It couldn't be worse for him doing that in prime time on the first game of the year against the Dallas Cowboys, who drive one of the biggest ratings in football. I got a feeling Goodell is going to lay the hammer. What were your thoughts when you watched that go down? Because it was wild.
Listen, first and foremost, kudos to the cameraman on every angle that was able to slow that sucker down. Yeah. And it's been playing all over X and all social media. I don't know. You and I are Seinfeld fans. Mm-hmm. And the spit, the infamous spit.
The first thing I thought of, I mean, it was a replication of that, Rico. It was literally that.
It was absolutely phenomenal to see. But in all seriousness, there's things that are disrespectful to people, and spitting is one of the most disrespectful things you can do to someone, even sometimes your own enemy. That you kind of, if you and I have something, we're gonna duke it out with fists and do whatever we need to do and go from there. But the spit, that tells me I got no respect for you. You are beneath me. You're beneath dirt, and you are going to take all the nasty bacteria out of my mouth right to you because I don't care. And say something. Disrespectful. And that type of stuff, that's the type of stuff that would make you and I, we're getting into it. Now, there is one beef that I do have. You're my guy. I consider you my guy. If you and I go out somewhere, you know what I'm saying, somebody's looking at you funny or whatever, or you know what I'm saying, I'm not the type to get physical, but people that are for me, that's my guy, you and I are gonna have a problem. The minute I see spit or disrespect come your way, I'm not waiting to what happened, guys. Did you get the camera? Where's their angle? Referee. No, referees he ain't gonna have time. I'm jumping in because that's my guy. That's my man's. You're not about to disrespect my guy. And no Dallas Cowboy in sight to, take up for the quarterback. Fam, I got problems. And that is where I stand with that, the disrespect and the lack of movement from the Dallas Cowboys dudes that are having the quarterback's back. You didn't have his back, but I didn't see anything. You didn't have his back. And that's a stain for me. And as a quarterback, and I look at my teammates, and none of y'all stood up for me. No, I got a problem with that. Now, I reverse the question to you. You saw the spit happen. You were just as confused as everybody else. What was your initial thought when you saw this happen? And what did you think was going to be the end result of that?
Well, to touch on what you just said, if Jalen Carter did that to Josh Allen, Deion Dawkins would have put on a cage match style brawl right in the middle of the field. Deion Dawkins seems to love Josh Allen maybe just an inch beneath his own mother. I mean, it seems like I've never seen a player have that much respect for a teammate. Deion Dawkins to Josh Allen. I mean, he knows well and good that he has a job because of Josh Allen, right? His job is to protect Josh Allen. He's done a good job of it. That's why he's going to continue to have that job. They're at the level in which they're at in Buffalo because of Josh Allen. No one's more cognizant of that than Deion Dawkins. I have to imagine if Deion or Spencer Brown or both of them saw that, there could have been multiple suspensions involved because I don't think they would have had the rationale in the moment to do anything other than react. And like you just said, when someone disrespects you to that level, how could you blame retaliation? At the very bare minimum, getting in the guy's face, right? Nobody seemed to do that. I was awfully confused. I didn't know why he was going towards the line. Why he'd spit on somebody to begin with, though, is just, I can't even. How do you have the ability mentally to do that on the grandest stage in which they were on? That's what kills me. It's just, that's what blew my mind, right? I can't wrap my head around it. And if a Bills player would have done that, I mean, I would have been absolutely embarrassed as a fan, just because I don't think you can do anything lower, like you were mentioning. Like, it's just, it doesn't really get more egregious. I'd almost rather get like slapped across the face, I think, than spit on by somebody else.
I'll tell you this. I know you would not. You definitely wouldn't want to get that. You wouldn't want to get either, right? A slap against the, I'd rather get punched in the mouth. Don't slap me open hand, because that you clearly don't have respect for me. You gave me respect when you closed your fist. You know what I mean? I'm trying to put you down. But the slap, you just want to sting me and you want to see my reaction. Oh, we go get it all. But here's the deal. I think, in my honest opinion, as much as McDermott comes off as a meager, soft dude, you know what I mean? Not a hype guy, he's not a Rex Ryan. He's not like a Harbaugh type of guy. You know what I mean? He'll do his thing. But I don't think McDermott would have had any issue if somebody did that to Josh Allen and Dion and Spencer Brown and whoever jumped in and handled Jalen Carter right then and there. I think McDermott would have been like, yo, I'm disappointed, but I'm happy they stood up for his guy. That's how it should have been. That's how the Dallas Cowboys should have handled it. As quick as it happened, that's true. Everybody must have been confused. But the minute Dak was like, yo, you spit on me? No, my hands are on you immediately. But it is what it is. It's done and over with. The game was an actually good game. I got to give it to Dak Prescott and these boys. They really kept it tight. Listen, the league is open. The Eagles didn't look the Eagles didn't look like the big bad team that they were last year. I mean, I know it's week 1. I totally get it. Not everybody is, oiled up and ready to go. Yo, the league is
pause.
Yeah. I caught myself in my mind. I was like, nobody's gonna catch that. But Bot's like, no, you better pause on that. Pause.
You were gonna say pause yourself, and then you said something else. Because you did stop. You did stop for a second.
I got caught. Yo, these boys are gonna be ready to go. Thanks for catching you on that. Sometimes you got to tell your mans, yo, you out of pocket. But that being said, I'm excited for the league. I think it's wide open. Like anybody can get it, and that's exactly what's gonna happen. So week 1 is huge. Week 1s are so important for me. But I got to be real. I'm not as confident going into week 1. I'm not as confident.
No,
I don't want to get away from the Dallas Cowboys game, but I'm not as confident. I mean, I guess we could, but I don't know. Fan chat, talk to me. Are you as confident going into week 1, knowing what you know, hearing what you've been hearing, seeing what you've been seeing all offseason, witnessing the signings to the practice squad and all of that? Can you honestly stand up to the mic and say, I insert Bills fans' name and absolutely confident that the Bills are going to come in week 1 and wax the Ravens? Can you? Bot, talk to me, man.
Well, I think Cowboys fans last night would probably tell you that they had, they had no confidence, right? They were an 8.5 point dog in that game. Yeah, they were a massive underdog. You have a brand new head coach, never coached an NFL game before at the head coach position in Brian Schottenheimer. Dak Prescott off of a season-ending injury, and you're going up against the champs who not only won it all, but just destroyed Kansas City on a level that only the Tom Brady-led Bucs had ever had. It was incredible to watch that game last night through the lens of the same team you watched in February, because it didn't look the same. And like you just said, these guys aren't oiled up and ready to go. And you could tell last night it's going to take a little bit to get the oil on the squeaky wheel, because the Philadelphia Eagles we saw in February were not the Eagles we saw in the first week of September here. The funny thing, though, is that last year the Eagles started off super slow as well, and it was noticeable by the end of the year that they were a sizable gap away from the second best team. So we'll see what happens. Throughout the year, of course, everything changes. What you see right now is not indicative of what you'll see even a month from now. I thought the Dallas Cowboys, though, they looked good compared to what I expected. I thought Dak Prescott looked really good. I don't know if anybody else noticed, his throwing motion looked significantly different. It almost was like he was lofting it, but he played an extremely well game. Back to the spit thing real quick. I had said that I thought that finding out that Dak Prescott spit first was a major development. And you should see my Twitter mentions. Oh, so you're saying that it's justified? You're saying that Jalen Carter should have spit on Dak? I don't understand how people discern certain conclusions from statements that do not say anything close to what they're interpreting it as. My whole thing was it provides context. At first, we thought Jalen Carter just walked up to the huddle and spit on him, right? For no reason. Now we know, Jalen Carter thought Dak was spitting towards him and he went and did it. Does it make it right? Hell no. Is it 10 times worse than what Dak did? Hell yes. But you have some context. It would have been infinitely more what the hell if he had just walked up and done it unprovoked without thinking anything had happened. But it was a weird way to kick the year off.
Some might say that it was unprovoked because Jalen was just like, listen, it's like, you know, that meme where it says nobody, and then the next thing, here comes Jalen Carter. Nobody asked you to come over here. You're the one who came over here trying to be that dude and trying to, you know, amp everybody up. Yo, it's week 1. Everybody's already amped up. You ain't got to do all that. Now, Dak, on the other hand, you could tell he wasn't trying to spit at him. Now, was there a little ish talking afterwards? Like, yo, I wasn't even trying to spit. And Dak even said it. I was in the middle of trying to spit. Yo, I wasn't even trying to. Yo, what?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Out you go.
They were definitely jawing, though. Dak was like visibly grinning at him. I think I understand why Jalen Carter thought he did that. Once again, does it justify it? Not even close. I can see where he thought he had done that, you know?
Jalen Carter's already got a few screws loose. Clearly, you could tell he's got a few screws loose, or the light bulb ain't tightened up a little, and not enough. You know what I'm saying? Because that thing is flickering in and out. Fam, you almost cost your team a week 1 L, right? And they had a game plan for you because they knew that you could wreck the game. And now you let the Dallas Cowboys feel like they're in this, and they actually were in this until CeeDee Lamb started dropping the football left, right, center. But that's a whole nother ball game. But yeah, man, suspension though. I think he might get away with one and not get suspended based on the Dak spit. So we'll see how Goodell wants to. Well,
that's why I thought it was a major development, because now you got people looking at it differently, even though it might not be any different at all.
No doubt.
He also served a game suspension last night. That's going to serve, of course, as a suspension. Ooh, I think he's going to get an insane fine, though. I think he's going to get a massive fine.
What's massive? 100,000?
I don't know. I'd have to look up what the highest is. I'd have to imagine whatever the highest fine you can get for in-game conduct, it'd have to be near it.
I think it'll be 25K because teams get fined.
That seems light.
25K seems light. I mean, shoot, that it's first offense potentially. I think that factors into a whole lot of things. I think he'll get off light, and Dak spitting is what's gonna settle things up. And then now the week 2 they'll be ready to go. And Jalen Carter, he learned valuable lesson learned.
Wasn't it unreal though? Wasn't it unreal to the level in which they broke it down on the broadcast? I thought they were going to just stop talking about it because I figured, like in typical like fashion, I thought, hey, let's not highlight it even more because it looks bad on the NFL. They did the opposite. I mean, they were breaking that down like it was all 22. I couldn't believe it. They kept going back to it. It was incredible. I mean, they're analyzing it. They got Jason Garrett out. The first thing they did after the game was over, basically, like the first thing they did was swing it down to Jason Garrett. Hey, did you talk to Dak afterwards and get any insight on the spit incident? Like that was like the instant thing they did after the game.
Let me tell you something. When I chalk it up to everyone's got the game day jitters, because the same way the players are getting into their first week of getting into it, broadcasters are kind of, this is the first week. So they're like, holy crap, this is the first controversial thing that's gone on all to start the season. So I guess this is what we're going to talk about. I'm sure they got somebody in the ear like, keep talking about the spit.
I loved it.
Keep going.
Yeah.
You know, so Jason Garrett was like, all right, let me take lead on this one. And away we go. So that's how you start the NFL season off with a bang. You get some controversy to start with. You get 2 rivals going at it. You got the banner raising going down. It was a good first week of football. I'm sure the viewership is going to be through the roof because of this whole thing. And that's the way to kick off a season, man. What a bang.
It was unreal the way it kicked off. The game was nuts. The first half was insane. The lightning delay really killed all the momentum. The game was awful afterwards. That they were scoring a touchdown every single time they changed possessions.
Yeah, it was hot.
Listen, Rico, you said it a bit earlier in terms of, you know, the Eagles and how they looked last night. Once again, it's September. Things will change drastically,
sure.
But not only did they not look like the same team in February, I thought the Dallas Cowboys outplayed them. Saquon Barkley was the best player on the field, but I thought collectively the Dallas Cowboys outplayed them. You got to remember, Miles Sanders fumbles the ball in the red zone as they're going down to take the lead.
Miles freaking Sanders, man.
Dude, that was the game.
You know
and then
you know this best because you're a Penn State guy.
Yeah.
That was the guy that preceded Saquon Barkley. He was supposed to be the next Saquon Barkley. I wouldn't call him the next, but right after Saquon, right? Those Penn State running backs, they do it. And you do this while you're going up against the guy that you were running behind back in college, and you have a great way to put your name back on the map, and you fumble like that? Come on, Sanders. Sit down.
What's crazy about that is it was the last play prior to the delay. And then nothing was the same after that. I mean, you could argue if that delay didn't happen, the game would have looked significantly different. But CeeDee Lamb, oh my God, you touched on it, Rico. How did he drop that ball down the seam? I mean, that was Dak Prescott, what a ball. And a guy like CD, dude, he couldn't have thrown it better. And then the diving one too. I know it's a tough catch, but man, that was the best ball he could have thrown in the moment, right? Like under pressure, got to get rid of it on fourth down. I couldn't believe he had 4 drops, and he really did dictate the offense for Dallas. I mean, that game would have probably gone in another direction if CeeDee Lamb catches the football.
I'll tell you, when that ball was in the air, and I'm like, this is it. You should have saw the stance I was in. It kind of reminds me of this one here. I was in some kind of proud mode, just trying to figure my life out. Is he gonna catch that thing? And no, just that's it. He fumbled it.
You know what's funny about that picture?
What's that big guy?
You know what's funny about that picture is on another show, I host the NFC West Roundtable, and I mentioned that we on this show have come up with a variety of different bots, right? Bent Brim bot, BBL bot. I was getting into that, right? The big booty bot. And I said the origin of that was from that picture, and they loved it. And I said on there, you'll never find it. I said, you'll never find the photo. And there's a couple people who have been digging for it. So we'll see if they tune into the show to find it, because that just reminded me of that.
Screen grab that sucker, and that's it. That's how it was. Yeah. You got Dak putting the ball on the money, and CeeDee Lamb. That was just his legitimate third drop. And that's a massive drop, bro. Come on. You're the number 1 receiver on this team. You were a top 12 or top 14 pick for fantasy football players. They had you in their first round pick. And you do this? You do this to me? You do this to me? Anyway.
Speaking of which, how about CMC again? Questionable for week 1 after no one knew a thing. This is the same thing that happened last year. Exact same thing. How do you draft Christian McCaffrey in the first round, by the way? It's on you nowadays if you do that.
Shame on you if you drafted CMC, because the whole offseason, unless you're a Niners fan and you follow every single content creator, beat writer, and you're watching everything, that tells you, okay, I think he might be all right. But then when they traded for Brian Robertson Jr.,
that's a good point.
That had to make you say, wait a second here. I mean, I know, I think Jaworski Merritt, I believe is. I know he's nice, but was he nice enough to remove Brian Robertson Jr. off that roster to bring him over to San Francisco? So whoever drafted Brian Robertson Jr. and thought you were actually drafting Bijan Robinson, you're like, oh, you freaked out. You might have saved yourself. Brian Robertson might be getting a start. CMC having this, like, what are the odds? What are the odds?
I mean, you got to think, dude, at this point, Rico, like how can you ever be this? I think it's chronic. Obviously, it is chronic. I mean, there's no way. When he came back against Buffalo last year, I was at the game, in the snow game. I mean, he came back and was gone, by halftime again? And now this is happening. I feel awful because when that guy's healthy, he's one of the best running backs I've ever seen. It's awful to hear because I hate to see the players of our generation suffer injuries that they just cannot find a way to get over. Once again, speaking of first round draft picks, by the way, though, in fantasy, rough night to have AJ Brown last night. Eagles win that game, by the way. We keep talking about it as if they lost. They did win. They are 1-0.
Right.
Saquon Barkley, you saw the value of him and you saw the value of Jalen Hurts' legs last night. That's what won him the football game.
1,000%. 1,000%. Because if you look at what he did in through the air, I think the Dallas Cowboys did a really good job with, containing. Even Kyrie Elam was getting in there. I'm not saying he had a good game, but even Kyrie Elam wasn't looking as horrible until he gave up that big old reception to Jahan Dotson. But for the most part, they kept these guys in check. And AJ Brown listen, you can't be the number one receiver on your squad and you getting no targets until the fourth quarter. Are you kidding me? Trayvon Diggs had you locked up like that? Kyrie Elam had you locked up like that? Bro, I don't want to hear that. I ain't trying to hear that. But what I am trying to hear is about these injuries.
Well done.
Buffalo Bills.
Give yourself a bow. I know you're very critical of yourself on your that was very well done. Good for you.
I was gonna bite off the transition when you were talking about injuries. I was like, speaking of injuries, but you know what? Yeah. This was the best way to do it. But things that we need to talk about are these Buffalo Bills and these constant injuries that keep popping up and not going away. It's not just about the injury, folks. It's the injuries that don't go away and they linger. And the coaching staff just sit there and play in your face and like, oh no, he'll be fine. Oh, he's just week to week and he's getting better and he's this and that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna tell you something. When we're looking at the injury report, let me break a little something down for y'all. It's not looking good. It's not looking good, ladies and gentlemen. Let me share my screen real quick. Actually, Bot, you have your screen up, right? Oh no, you know what? Let me get my screen in there because you already have something on there. So, folks, I'm not pleased. I can tell you right now, I am absolutely not pleased with what I'm seeing right now, ladies and gentlemen. When you're looking at the Buffalo Bills and their report, their injury report, kicker, our guy, drafted kicker, paid handsomely well on his second contract. Tyler Bass has been dealing with a groin / hip / pelvic soreness injury all offseason. We brought in kickers. We let go of kickers. We thought he was healthy. He plays in the preseason game. He goes 1 for 1, I think 2 for 2 in the preseason. I think he missed an extra point or missed something. And here we are thinking that we're getting a healthy kicker going into week 1 against the Ravens, a big critical game, and we're sitting here putting him on injured reserve, a kicker on injured reserve. Are you kidding me? He was limited on Wednesday, did not practice on Thursday, and then they said, you know what? You're done, bud. You're on the injured reserve. We don't get him for 4 weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, our kicker is out. One of our guys that we depend on to put points on the board for us, to help us sustain leads, out. Let us continue. You got Christian Benford dealing with a groin injury, one of the worst injuries to have as a defensive back because you've got to open your hips up. You've got to backpedal. You got to stop and go. Christian Benford, limited on Wednesday, but he had a full participation on Thursday and on Friday. Will he be ready to go as they say he is? We shall soon see. But those things can flare up real quick. Keon Coleman, healthy all offseason, and then now you pull up with this groin injury at the worst time. Limited on Wednesday, limited on Thursday, full participant on Friday. So I guess you have to have that full participation in order, to get that really ready to go attitude. Elijah Moore hasn't done a damn thing. Personal, he didn't practice. He's a full participant. We'll see how that plays out. Khalil Shakir has been full all week. We look good. He looks good. Our guy, the Thigh Dog, said he's all right. I think he should be. He looked all right when we saw him on the field. Let's roll. But here's the biggest one for me, ladies and gentlemen. Tre'Davious White. Well, you know what? It says doubtful, but I can't see him. If you're
not playing.
If you're doubtful on Friday, you didn't practice Wednesday, didn't practice Thursday, you didn't practice Friday, just say he's out. He's doubtful. He's out. So now we're now dealing with a injured reserve rookie corner in Max Hairston. We have an aging, am I disrespecting him by saying aging? We have
Trey White.
Trey White. He's not aging. He's 30.
Yeah. I think he's going to be 31. Yeah.
31. We have an older, seasoned cornerback, doubtful. We're going in with a 6th round rookie corner potentially, or could it be Jamarcus Ingram? We don't know because McDermott likes to play this little game of not knowing who's gonna do what. He doesn't want to tip his hand to the other team. I say all of this. Are you confident, Mr. Bot, in going into week 1 against the Ravens? And what are your thoughts on these injuries popping up and just just the feeling Bills fans should have going into this game? Talk to me now.
Well, let's touch on Tyler Bass first, because this is an awfully interesting one in that he went out and kicked in the 3rd preseason game. How is that not an indicator to everybody that he's going to be good? I mean, that's how I read it. How could you read it any other way? 3rd preseason game, he's out there kicking. We didn't hear much of anything about this injury. Like, we didn't really get a whole lot of detail. Then he's out there in the 3rd preseason game. I think it would be safe to say you're anticipating he'll be ready a couple weeks later to play. Now he's put on IR. That's going to be a month at least. Matt Prater, ladies and gentlemen, get ready for a 41-year-old kicker to potentially be relied upon to win a football game or two for these Buffalo Bills over the next month. Matt Prater first kicked an NFL field goal when I was 10 years old. 2007
Great year.
Was when Matt Prater entered the NFL. He is now the starting kicker for the Buffalo Bills. Tyler Bass, say what you want. He was huge last year, right? That 61-yarder against Miami. I thought he had a way better year than people were willing to give him credit for going into the year, right? There you go, Koala. We're on the same page. I mean, this time last year, we were having the conversation, who wasn't? T-Bass. Like, how worried are we? Whatever. I don't think we really talked about it much throughout the season last year because it just didn't seem to be a concern. This could be a major development for the Buffalo Bills in terms of how you view them in tight situations. I think luckily for Buffalo, Sunday's the only game I have on my list here over the next month where I anticipate this game coming down to the wire. Now, I could eat those words. I don't think I'm going to. I hope I'm not going to. But you'd much rather have T-Bass out there on Sunday than not, and you don't. And you're not going to not only are you not going to have him Sunday, you're not going to have him for a month. If anything, I don't think anybody would be like, oh, what? This came out of nowhere. If it was said that he wouldn't play this week, the fact that he got put on IR, Rico, after playing in that 3rd preseason game was extremely shocking to me. So we'll see how much of an impact that is. And we'll see how healthy he is, by the way, when he does come back after a month, because this has been bothering him now for some time to the point where it wasn't able to get right over what felt like the full duration of the camp here, right? I mean, it really felt like T-Bass was dealing with something for the entire summer here, and it still isn't ready to go. Is it going to be ready to go after another month? Well, I guess only time will tell. And if he is out there ready to go, how healthy is he really? Especially in the second half of the year, Rico, when you have the big boys, right? The big games, the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Bengals. Those are when your primary games are, your seed swinging games. And they're going to need the leg of Bass the most. You're talking about the corner position, though.
Talk to me. That's the one I want you to hit on.
Yeah, because obviously that's the most pertinent to, I think, the way we're going to view the Bills defense and how much they ascend compared to last year. That was a glaring issue, obviously, going into the offseason. There's a reason why Maxwell Hairston is drafted in the first round. Everybody knew. I mean, hell, even in our mock draft, Pierre had the Bills taking a safety. Everybody knew priority one was somewhere in the secondary, depending on where they were going to go. It felt like corner inevitably throughout the offseason until we got to the draft. They go with Maxwell Hairston, as you mentioned, really early into camp. He gets hurt. He's on IR. Tre'Davious White comes to town. You and I, when it initially broke, we got into it a little bit. And I had thought that this signing was for really nothing more than what Jordan Poyer recently here feels like, what Micah Hyde felt like last year, Jordan Phillips. It just felt like it was one of those, hey, why not have the depth, be a guy who you're familiar with, who you love, who the fan base loves. The pickings right now are not great. Why wouldn't we rather go with a guy that we know and love that as opposed to some other veteran who's sitting around who might have a similar quality of game left? That wasn't the case, though, when Tre'Davious White came to town. And this is what's such a bummer about this, is that when he showed up, he showed out. He was playing his best football over the last couple of years in camp here. I think a lot of it had to do with him being back in Buffalo. I think it meant the world to him. I think it really rejuvenated him. And you were seeing that out on the field. And when Maxwell Hairston went down, it was Tre'Davious White stepping up, and you were starting to feel good about it, Rico. Even though you were not feeling great about the idea that Maxwell Hairston, your first-round draft pick, isn't going to be available, you were feeling good about the fact that Tre'Davious White was looking as well as he had during camp. And now this. And this is yet another guy who unfortunately cannot avoid the injury bug, and I feel terrible for him. You see how hard the guy works. You see how much he wants it. You see how much he wants to be great. And some of these guys, for whatever reason, it sticks to him like a magnet, and it's the worst thing in the world. Luckily, this doesn't seem like something that's going to be an extended period of time in terms of his absence, but I thought he was going to play this week. And then we got to this past week, and it seemed more and more likely he wasn't, and now it seems inevitable that he's not going to. Now we're down to the depths of the depth chart. There's a reason why it's called the depth chart, and you're down deep into that depth chart right now. And you're looking at it, Rico, and who's it going to be, right? Is it going to be Ingram? Is it going to be Dorian Strong? It seems people might be leaning towards that. The other thing, too, here that sucks is that not only is it cornerback 2, which you've already had worries about for months, your top corner, maybe one of your best defensive players in Christian Benford is not 100% to the point where he was teetering on the edge going into this game. That secondary, Rico, is certainly going to be an area, maybe the area, all of us amongst Bills Mafia are going to be honed in on the most Sunday night.
We are absolutely going to be honed in on the most. And I get it. It's week 1. There's excitement in the air, but how do you pair the excitement in the air with knowing that you're not going into battle full health? And I think that's the killer. And now the Ravens aren't either. Nope. Let's keep it a buck here. The Ravens are, I think Isaiah Likely, I think he's not out. I think he's out.
Yes.
Jair Alexander, they're not sure if he is going to be. He's been practicing all week, but they're not certain. But
Patrick Ricard as well, who's a massive piece of their offense.
Absolutely, he's absolutely Patrick Ricard. They're a mum on if he's gonna, but we know he ain't gonna play. So they're dealing with some injuries themselves, but key injuries, man. Like the guy that you drafted to take over at cornerback 1. Or at least cornerback 2 next to cornerback 1, out. The guy that, is a savvy vet, knows this defense, et cetera, likely out. You're going with a weakness on a team that is out for blood. The Ravens are absolutely out for blood. And right now we are bleeding in the water. They're a shark. They're bleeding in the water. Now, I might be being a little more, some might say I'm being a little too much. I mean, slow down, Rico. You're being a little too much, but I just feel it. So I'm not confident in it. However, we weren't sure what we were going to get out of Christian Benford. 6th round. We're going to get Christian Benford in it. We're going to see what he does. But Christian Benford was showing us something in practice along the way. So we weren't sure what we were going to get, but there was a bit of upside. Dorian and Ingram, we've seen them give us some upside. So we can't poo-poo on it too much. Maybe they come in and next man up mentality, and they've got to come in and handle business. But starting the league year with big dogs down, it's not ideal. But listen, that's why we have 53, like you said. That's why there's depth. We're deep into the depth. We're deep into the abyss. But we got to somebody's got to come out there and handle business. Hopefully, one of these two young guys come in and hold down the spot.
And one other thing to factor, too, and we're talking about the defense, is Cole Bishop. It's your time, right? Cole Bishop, it's the time in which we see a second-round draft pick go out there and prove why he was drafted as high as he was. And I know McDermott's high on him. I know the team is. I know he hasn't been able to stay healthy. Theme of the conversation here, hasn't had the reps in which you would be comfortable putting him out there in a game like this to your fullest extent. But he's going to be out there too, right? So you're going to be down to the deepest parts of your depth chart at cornerback, at cornerback. On the other side, you're going to have Christian Benford out there, but not 100%. Yep. Then you're going to have Taylor Rapp out there as well without a whole lot of reps during this offseason. But Rico, There's a silver lining in everything.
Is there?
Right? There's a silver lining in everything.
Talk to me.
And obviously, nothing positive can be said about the injuries and the back end. There's just no benefit to that. But what it allows us to focus in on and what it allows us to see in terms of, hey, is this going to be what we're hoping it's going to be? Is this going to be what we want it to be? Because if it does become this, is this what we've been missing? Is this what's going to get the Bills over the edge? And that is the defensive front. The defensive front is one of the areas this offseason that I, in particular, have been the utmost excited about. It is, injuries or not, was always the thing I was most excited to watch on display going into the season. And you're not going to get a better opportunity to showcase what you got than against the Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, that offense. This is going to be where the potential silver lining could be, Rico. Will the secondary not have to be carved up because Lamar is having a tough time, keeping a clean pocket? Is Lamar having a tough time in terms of being given time to throw the football? One of the best coaching nobody, I'm just going to say it. Nobody's coached against Lamar better than Sean McDermott. I don't think. I think Sean McDermott has done an exceptional job scheming his defenses up against Lamar Jackson. He won their first two matchups. The one was when he was a rookie, and I don't even think he played late in the game. Then there was a 2019 game where they went 14-2. They were significantly better than Buffalo. Like team-wise, they were just better. It wasn't like it is now where they're comparable. Okay. Ever since then, it's been primarily Buffalo outside of course, last year's annihilation on Sunday Night Football in Buffalo. But that was the majority. The majority of the success went through Derrick Henry, who had 200 yards in the football game. It's no discredit to Lamar. He just didn't really have to do Lamar things because Derrick Henry was looking like Barry Sanders out there. But if you talk about this D-line, the upgrades, the draft capital invested, what you hope to get out of a healthy Joey Bosa, could this be what offsets, Rico, a secondary that you're not feeling all that great about or 100% confident in going into a matchup like this?
I gotta be real, man. I'm like, as much as you're trying to tell me that the defensive line is going to be great, it's going to be solid, that's always been the unit that always falls short.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying they're going to be great. I'm saying I can't wait to see if they're going to be great is what I'm looking for, or better at least.
I'm up in the air. I'm up in the air because there's so much uncertainty, right? We know what we get out of Greg Rousseau. Greg Rousseau is a strong run defender, and he's disciplined. I've seen it. We've seen it. And he's a smart guy. He'll give you 6 to 8. I'm hoping he gets double-digit sacks this year, right? We know what we get in him. We know what we get in AJ Epinesa. Depth piece. He'll give you 5 to 6 sacks a year. We're great. Okay. Ed Oliver, a little undersized, solid motor, can sometimes be displaced sometimes, but we know what we get out of him. So but there's uncertainty. We don't know what we're going to get out of Joey Bosa. We don't know what we're going to get out of Deon Walker. We don't know what we're going to get out of TJ Sanders. There's excitement, but we're not sure yet. So this is why I wait with bated breath, I should say, right? I can't be too high because I'm not certain. But there's optimism. But Joey Bosa, and I got a segment that I'm going to get into a little later. But Joey Bosa is one that I'm intrigued about, and I think we should all be intrigued about. Like which Joey are we getting? And I think we've been saying this all season, right? But we put our eggs in a basket on the defense. Take a look at the draft picks we took this year. It was all defensive players except for Lund, O-lineman, tight end Jackson Haas, and I'm missing one more, Caden Prather, which we released, which irritates me, by the way. But to the point I'm trying to make is, well, there's uncertainty. So I need to see a little bit more. And this week is going to be a great test because that's a heck of an old line protecting Lamar Jackson and blocking for Derrick Henry. But you were going to say something there.
Well, I know you're uncertain, and I am too. That's why I'm excited about it. I'm excited about seeing if my uncertainty is going to go in the direction in which I want it to, which is, I'm feeling pretty good about what I'm seeing here, right? But maybe there's one other element that kind of helps offset your uneasiness. How about a healthy Milano and Bernard in the middle of the field? Healthy duo in the middle of the field with Milano coming off a camp where everybody was saying, man, Matt Milano looks like he's back to all-pro form.
Matt Milano in all-pro form, I like it. I've been liking it. I think we've all been liking it all offseason. So that I like the linebacking crew. Believe it or not. Dorian, Milano, Bernard, I'm in on that. It's that front. And every year, and I got to address this real quick because I got my man, Big Mike. He wants to know, I want to know what Rico wishes would have been done differently. This negativity is killing me. So what do you mean what would have been done differently? In what way? What did I say? Like, what am I?
I think I've been tracking Mike in here. I think he's basically saying that the injuries are just out of their control. Like, what more could you really do? Of course they're out of their control.
That's why I don't feel great, Mike. What do you mean? Am I supposed to still feel amazing with all these injuries? Injuries suck. No, I don't feel great. If your top players are not going into this game, that means your team is not 100% healthy going into it. So there's some limitations. So no, I don't feel good. So am I supposed to say, we're going to be all right, guys? Don't worry about it? No, that would be faking me to do something like that. If we're talking, if we're fans, you're going to have concerns. And I hope I'm getting what you're saying. So is there anything we can do about injuries? No. But could you have prepared for some of these things?
This is what Mike's asking you.
What would have made you more confident in this team? Take a look at our defensive backfield. What do you mean? What would have them bringing back Trey White? I had issues with it at the beginning. I was like, why do we need to bring Trey White back? But we drafted Hairston. But they can't do anything about the draft. They didn't have money, so they were limited on what they can do. But they're prime example. We got Jabril Peppers right now out. Right now, you look at the safety room right now. Are you confident in our safety room? We've been talking about our safety room being, I don't know. Cole Bishop, we're not sure about Cole Bishop. We know what we got in DeMar Hamlin, Taylor Rapp. He's one injury away, and now we're bummed. And now we bring in an older Poyer that's on the last leg. So of course I've got to question it. So what could you have done getting better players in case these injuries do happen? So now look where we are. Look where we are. So you can't tell me that I can't sit here and be a little bit, you know what I mean, eyebrow raised. Like, are you just supposed to just be cool?
Did you see what I was looking? Look at this guy. Look at this guy with the hat that Uncle Bot got him. And look what I was doing. Look what I was just looking at. I was looking at a picture of you. I was looking at a picture of him. Check this out. Look at JP. Who is that right there? Is that you?
Yeah.
And who's this? Oh my God. This is my nephew, JP. Where did you get this hat?
From you.
You did? And is it your favorite hat?
Yeah.
And you lost it, right?
Yeah.
But you found it.
Yeah.
Because what did I say I was going to do if you didn't find it? I said I was going to throw you in the pool 70,000 times. So you did find it, which is good. This is the newest member of Bills Mafia. How many days till the Bills start?
3.
2. Yesterday was 3. You were close. You remembered at least.
My guy.
Growing up, he's going to be a big time Bills fan. He already is. He's very excited.
You got to get
loves
him
the hat,
skull.
and he loves the YouTube. You're on YouTube right now, JP. What do you think about that?
Fun.
Is that insane?
I love it.
By the way, this is my friend Rico. He says hi.
He's got to get his voice raspy like Uncle Bot. He'll be all right.
Yeah, he said you gotta get your voice to sound like mine. What does my voice sound like to you?
I don't know.
I don't either. That's probably the best way to put it. But what do you think? What we'll be doing? You'll be doing this someday, right? At some point.
Yeah.
All right.
My
All
boy.
right.
My boy.
JP says hi. What do you think the Bills are going to win Sunday before we let you go?
Yeah.
All right. Good boy. Good boy.
Guy.
All right. I'm going to come see you in a second. So that's JP. He is the newest big Bills fan, and it's one of my. I got to say, in my adult life here, up until right now, as I come into this next era of my life, which is odd saying it, but it's like, when you have 7 nieces and nephews, all of a sudden you're just like, holy crap. One of my proudest moments there is like him coming up to me like, you need to get me a Bills hat. Like it was the best. I loved it.
That's the best thing. And he's going to remember that. He is going to remember that. And that's the beauty of it. And just to get back onto my man, Big Mike D. Buffalo.
Sorry about that, by the way. He walked.
No. It's good.
He was dying for it. He loves it.
No, and he caught me. And I don't. And this is the thing about this show is we don't shy away. At least I know Bot and I won't shy away from having conversation. Let me put it this way: what could we have done better? there's guys that are out there still right now that we could have brought onto this roster that could have made this roster significantly better, and we didn't. We chose to go ancient. We chose to go with experience, and now we may pay for it. But that's why we love to play this game, because you can talk all this and either be overhyped and be overconfident, or you're sitting here like with an eyebrow like myself, and they come out and surprise the heck out of us. That's why you play this game, to see what takes place at the end of the day.
Who's one guy that should be on the Bills roster right now if you were being?
Asante Samuel Jr. Why not?
Okay.
That boy can play. He can play. I just don't understand what it is. There must be something absolutely wrong with this guy that he's
why is he not on a roster then? Yeah, I don't get it.
So they're clearly staying away from him for a reason. Jabril Peppers is out there right now. Simmons is out there right now. But they said, nah, we good, bro. We good. Okay. So we about to find out how good we are. But anyway, it is what it is. That's why you draft. That's why you bring teams. I know we were limited on money, so you can't just sign everybody you want to, because then the whole league would be like that. So you got to work with what you got. But I feel that we could have gone some direction to get us a little younger in the position, and we'll see. But I mean, listen, what do I know? I don't know what's going on with these players that are not being signed right now. Maybe they want more money. Maybe it's a financial thing. Who knows? But it is what it is at this point. Big Mike, I respect you though. I love a debate. I love conversation. But here we are. We are going into this game a little bit of depleted at the cornerback position, and so Will Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson pinpoint and take advantage. Did you see Adoree Jackson yesterday? The freaking Dak Prescott and them boys took full advantage of Adoree Jackson. They knew it and they attacked him. I could totally see Lamar Jackson doing the same to our guys. So I'm skeptical. My eyebrows are raised, but I'm hoping. I have hope. I do have hope. So we'll see. We'll go from there.
Well, with that in mind, Rico, we're talking about, could Lamar Jackson do this, right? Could he have a huge day through the air? Will it be another great day for Derrick Henry like it was in the regular season against the Bills last year? Or will it be closer to like it was in the postseason? Let's make some picks. Let's do it. Let's head on over to our friends at Sleeper and make some picks, because this is one of the best ways to get in on the action outside of your status quo, like fantasy. Well, you just did your draft, by the way, through Sleeper, which I did as well. Last night I had Jalen Hurts. I was feeling pretty good about that. But Sleeper, best fantasy app bar none, but they're way more than just a fantasy app. Sleeper not only has fantasy, but they are also a real money gaming app focused on bringing people together, with over 6 million active users since 2023. One of the features they have outside of fantasy is the picks feature. So let's go through and make a couple picks. You stack them together, the odds boost up, and from there, you can pay out some crazy, crazy bucks. So let's build a Bills one real quick. You mentioned Lamar. Let's see what his number is on here. So if we're talking Lamar passing yards, you said there could be a chance here, right? There could be a chance he has a day. Right now on Sleeper, you thinking more or less 228 and a half pass yards for Lamar Jackson?
You know what? After coming off of the year that he had last year, I think he goes for 220 for sure.
So you're thinking he gets at least 229?
Yeah, give me over.
All right, so it's more on Lamar Jackson on 228. Let's see what I want to see what Derrick Henry's number's at. Because you know what's weird about the Bills against Derrick Henry? They've done really well against him, but there are two games in which he literally looked like Jim Brown. Had almost 150 yards in one game, just a yard shy of 200 in the game in the regular season last year. Let me see if I can get his rush yards, because I'm wondering which way it's going to go. It will not go the way it went in the regular season.
I say 78. They're going to say 78, more or less than 78.
81 and a half. You were off.
81. Okay. All right.
Yeah. What do you think? More 81. Or less?
I say more. I say more. It's tough to keep, because when we do contain him, we contain him around the 65-70 markish.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on how this game goes down, I mean,
listen, I'll tell you right now, if you think Lamar is going to have more than 228 and you think Derrick Henry is going to have more than 81, we're going to be in for a long Sunday evening. That's for sure.
I mean, well, listen, we beat the Ravens last year. I mean, it's not hard to see what took place, because I think in the loss, they probably still had over 80 yards rushing. And
I think they doubled up the Bills almost in yards. So yeah, you're not wrong, but they also turned the ball over 3 times.
That's a factor. Absolutely a factor. I'm actually now curious about how that took place, actually. I'm going to take a look.
Yeah, take a peek. Well, I'll give you the more on Derrick Henry, but one I want to add, I don't know why I'm feeling this gut feeling. I'm thinking it's a big James Cook night on Sunday. I know the Ravens are known for their run D, but James Cook got 13 carries against these Ravens in the divisional round. The Bills leaned on him, and I think one of the big reasons for that, you do not want Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry out on the field more than they need to be. And I guarantee you Harbaugh feels the same way. That's why they would hope to rely on Derrick Henry if he looks as good as he's capable of looking any given week. You don't want Allen out there, and you don't want Lamar out there if you're Sean McDermott, if you're Joe Brady. And we know Joe Brady is really great at not fixing what isn't broken. He will continue to pound the rock if it's working. His number, Rico, on Sleeper, 54.5. Give me the more on that all day. I think James Cook has at least 12, 13 carries. I think he's going to have at least 65 yards in this game. I think they're going to feature him a bit more, not because of the contract, but just because I think this is the perfect situation to do it, where you're going to try to bleed the clock a little bit more. Let's add one more, Rico, before we see what the odds are on this one.
Yep.
Let's do Allen rush yards. 32.5 rush yards. You think Allen gets unleashed a little bit here in week 1 or no?
You know, there's something about Allen that, like, he's such a dominant player. He can choose when he wants to turn it on and turn it off. Something tells me that he's going to choose not to use his legs until he really, really needs to. He's going to try to stay in the pocket, deliver the football to the guys that need to do their job, and try to refrain from running. He did that for the first 7 games last year until he says, all right, F this, let's roll. We're going to start doing what I need to do. So 30 is nothing, though. It feels, for Allen, it feels like that's nothing. He can get that in one gallop. So
my take on it, Rico, with him, this is the only game. Allen, when does Allen run the ball? When they're in games that are huge, when they're in games against their best opponents, and when Allen needs to make a off the script type play, or Brady designs something for him in a situation that would call for it more than if you were playing, I don't know, New Orleans. Why run Josh Allen into the ground against the Saints? You just don't need to do it. This is why I look at the schedule, and I hate that I keep doing this, but I look at the schedule. I don't see a whole lot of, hey, let's make sure Allen gets some rushing touches in these upcoming games other than Sunday. That's why I think we could see Allen run a bit more than we do throughout the next month or so, just because I don't think those games are going to call for it. So I'm with you. Let's go more on that 32.5. So let's take a look at our entries. More than 228.5 pass yards for Lamar Jackson, more than 81.5 rush yards for Derrick Henry.
By the way, that playoff game, 254 for Lamar, 84 for Derrick Henry. So both on the over with an L. So I know it was tight, but it's not like unlikely to happen. So, and these two juggernauts going at it with each other, I think you're gonna have a lot of more into this game.
And we also got a more on James Cook, 54.5 rush yards, more on Allen, 32.5 rush yards. We wanted more. All we went with was the more here. So that's 4 mores on those. And Rico, the multiplier on this is quite crazy. On Sleeper right now, 100 would pay out 941 on that slip. So if you like that, get in on it with Rico and I. You see the code on your screen. The code is BF25. The link is in the description below.
What did you say the payout was?
100 pays you 941 on that slip. Yeah. So
hit that. Yeah.
So once again, link in the description below. Use the promo code BF25 and you'll get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper in the link in the description today. All right, we were talking offense there, a heavy amount. And it looks like we both are getting a vibe that there could be some stats put up by both sides here. And, both of the main players involved, right, or the stars involved on both sides of the offensive ball are going to be getting in on it. How do you view this game? Let's talk about the marquee matchup here within the game. How do you view this from the psychology of Lamar's side of things, losing that game in the divisional, not playing well, fumbling the ball, throwing that terrible pick, coming back and seemingly avenging it just for Mark Andrews to drop it? Then you lose the MVP to Allen when many thought he should have won it again. How are you feeling if you're him? And then how are you feeling if you're Allen? You won against Lamar in the divisional. You won against Lamar in the playoffs prior to that, the last time you saw him, and you won the MVP. You married Haley Steinfeld. You're on every commercial known to man right now. You're feeling good. Break down to me how you're feeling about these two guys coming into this particular game, not this season, but week one.
So two different ways of coming into this. I'm going to start with Josh Allen. Josh Allen gives me the impression that what was that last play that took place? It was last play. I forgot about it. It's not happening. What took place? I got no idea. So what took place last year was last year. And the reason he goes into this mentality, especially going into this matchup against Lamar Jackson, because everybody's going to be like, the last time these guys played, it was a playoff game. It was right to the end and so on and so forth. But here's the deal. It's not to disrespect and shade Lamar Jackson, but the psyche of Josh Allen is, listen, I don't care for all that, because you know what happened? We won against Lamar Jackson, and I've lost 4 straight times to Pat Mahomes. Yeah. So what took place that game, I could care less. My goal is to try to win this damn Super Bowl. So it's just another game for me. It's just another year for me, and it's week one. I get excited for week one. Lamar is one of the best in this game. He's probably going to be a Hall of Famer. These are words coming out of Josh Allen's mouth. So he doesn't go into this game where like, I gotta defend this dirt. This is just another game. That's on the Josh Allen side, because he knows the bigger accomplishment is getting to the AFC Championship, and not only getting there, but winning it and going to the Super Bowl. But he's been denied 4 times. Denied by the one quarterback that's just in his way, as Pat Mahomes. So small fish, and I don't want to even call Lamar small fish because I'm a big fan. Lamar's one of my favorite players. Small fish, big fish. That's what I'm trying to get right now. Now, Lamar's side is I keep losing to this guy in the playoffs. Bro, I'm sick of it. All I've been hearing is about these Buffalo Bills, and they're the favorites to go back to the Super Bowl. And Josh Allen got married, and all I see is this guy all over the place. I'm sick of it. And my playoff record, it blows. I need this. But Lamar has a little bit of what Josh Allen is. That was last year. I'm sick of losing. It's this year. But don't talk to the rest of his teammates, because they are motivated as ever to show that we are capable of beating this team. No different than when the Bills week one faced off against the LA Rams. They were the defending champs at the time. We're like, bro, we're about to go in and wax these guys to show them what's really good. So
and Ravens,
and buddy, did they ever, right? So these Ravens going into this game, although it's a new year, but they still got that nasty taste of loss in their mouth from last year. So they're about to go make a statement, especially under the bright lights. Sunday night, everybody's watching, and this was a big game last year. Lamar's looking at this like, yo, let's start off with a bang, and let's get this thing going, because we ain't gonna go and fall into this hole that we were in last year. Don't forget what the Ravens were at one point. Were at 0-3, or they were a 1-2 at one point. To the point where, like, when they came up and played us week 4, I can't recall, that was a must win for them. They needed that, because if they fall into a hole in the North, that's a big, huge problem. So the psyche for both these guys is Josh Allen's this is another game, another day, another play. I could care less, because I got bigger plans, and that's the Chiefs that keep freaking getting in our way. Lamar is like, you're in my way, so I need to get you out of my way, and I'll see you again, but I got to set the tone right now. That's the psyche that I see from them. Now, I'm going to reverse it. And I want you to start with Lamar first. What's Lamar? How do you think Lamar's coming into this game and coming into this matchup, having this whole offseason go around what felt like the year or the offseason of Josh Allen, because that's all you heard about him getting married and all that stuff. So how does he go in and attack this game on Sunday night?
I think Lamar Jackson is as motivated as ever. I think we're going to get the best version possible of Lamar Jackson on Sunday night. I can't see a reason why he wouldn't be. I don't see how he couldn't possibly go into that game being the best version of himself for all the reasons you just mentioned. I think, Josh Allen, you said it. There's really nobody better at compartmentalizing the success that he's had. Yeah, I'll preface, no, he hasn't won a Super Bowl. I get it. But Josh Allen is great at just moving on. He never seemed to really care about the MVP. All he cares about is the Super Bowl. All he cares about is the next crack at getting towards that Super Bowl. So because of that, he's not going to be looking back at last year with rose-colored glasses. It's in the past. It's in the rearview mirror. With that said, as motivated as Josh Allen's going to be to try to get the 1 seed for the first time, win at home in the last ever home opener, get off to a hot start, just all the reasons you can list, and there's an infinite amount of them. The one thing he can't replicate is the one intangible Lamar Jackson has going into this game, and that is the rage of defeat to the opponent. How we feel going up against the Kansas City Chiefs, it's not to the same degree, but the Baltimore Ravens are feeling that right now with the Buffalo Bills. Their fan base is feeling that. It's not the same at all because of the amount of times the Chiefs have beaten Buffalo. But the last time the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson were on the field, they lost in the same place they'll be playing on Sunday night. And the last time we talked about these two quarterbacks in the same breath, it was Josh Allen winning the MVP over Lamar Jackson. He has that additional fuel that you just can't replicate. It's quite literally a fossil fuel, Rico. You can't create it. It has to just come from within, and it has to be there, born from experience that you just can't replicate. And that's why I think that these guys, including Lamar Jackson in particular, are going to be as motivated and fired up as they could possibly be. I think that with Lamar in particular, though, it's felt as of recently here that he has fallen down the totem pole a bit in terms of how the rankings are going down as well. I don't know if you've noticed this, but it often feels like Allen is consistently brought up more than Lamar. You turn the TV on, Rico, you have an infinitely better chance of seeing Josh Allen's face than Lamar. These are all additional things beyond the things we already know, the divisional loss and the MVP. I bet you there's part of Lamar Jackson that feels slighted. Maybe it's not warranted. He's still one of the greatest players we've ever seen, but don't get it twisted. I think Lamar can look in the mirror and manufacture some animosity here beyond the animosity we know he already has.
I think I'm going to agree with you. And that's what I meant by, like, it feels like it was the offseason of Josh Allen, because you turn on the TV, it's Josh Allen a commercial. Josh Allen's got teriyaki peanut and buffalo freaking avocado and whatever the heck Snickers sauce he's got. It feels like it was a summer of Josh. So, like, he's like, bro, like, I get it. He won the MVP. Some folks are saying, yo, it was manufactured. It shouldn't have gone to him. You got a 4,000-yard passer with 40 touchdowns, and I didn't get the MVP. Are you kidding me? Bro, it was been like that with Ravens fans all freaking offseason. So, yes, you nailed it. It just feels that way. So there is maybe a fabricated animosity in there. So, but he's quiet. He's got to keep it quiet and keep it moving. So I love that. So you've transitioned. You've talked about Lamar. How does Josh go into this game? What's his psyche? Is he super laid back? Talk to me now.
I'm trying to frame this right. He is the most famous. He's at another level right now. I mean, Allen in the public eye is on another level right now.
Class.
I mean, Thigh Doc and I were talking about it yesterday because Thigh Doc's getting all upset that all Josh Allen has in terms of sponsorships are like sugar drinks and candy and whatnot, but he's got 100 of them. I mean, Thigh Doc wants him to do like muscle milk or something, but he's doing the big boy brands, Pepsi, Snickers.
Absolutely.
He's all over the place. Allen is the guy right now. One of the guys. He is one of the faces of the NFL. Not to say Lamar isn't, but this past year, you just said it. Another Seinfeld reference. It's not the summer of George. It was the summer of Josh. And it felt like the offseason here. Josh, you marry Haley Steinfeld. You win the MVP. You get a gazillion different brand deals. You're on Hard Knocks. There was an entire episode of Hard Knocks seemingly dedicated to the love affair that Buffalo has with Josh Allen, that everybody seems to have with Josh Allen. I say all this to go ahead and say, I don't think it matters to him at all. I don't think it matters to him at all.
Agreed.
I think that he is incredibly gifted at compartmentalizing the things that do not matter. And even though he's making boku bucks, even though he married the love of his life, a superstar celebrity, even though he has a trophy in his trophy case now to represent how great of a player he is, he doesn't have what he wants at the end of the day. He doesn't have what he wants. His teammates don't have what they want. The fan base doesn't have what they want. That's what inspires this guy. That's what motivates this guy. And I don't think it's BS. I think it's 100% true. You're going to get the best version of Josh Allen you can get on Sunday night. That's the last home opener in that stadium. He knows what that means. He knows what it means to the fan base. And you mentioned it earlier. In the grand scheme of things, as much as I love talking about the success that they've had with Allen and McDermott and Bean, they have accomplished nothing in terms of the grand scheme of things. They have not accomplished what they want to accomplish. So even though last year was a great year, even though they got to the AFC Championship and were a play away, it still was a failure in the eyes of Josh Allen. And you'll get the best version of him this season as a result. And he's only getting better. This is what makes me the most confident. Last year, going into the season, no Gabe Davis, no Stephon Diggs. Oh, they're going to take a step back. They scored 31 points per game. He couldn't turn the ball over if he tried. And they just dominated on a week in, week out basis on offense. And he played the best football of his career. Why should I think going into this year, it won't be more of the same? Because we've been given no reason to think otherwise. That's why, Rico, Sunday night, Bills fan, Ravens fan, or not, that is must-see television on Sunday Night Football.
It is absolutely must-see. I can't wait for it. And I'll say this, man. I'll say this. Like, there are some players in this game where you're like, and I like Josh Allen so damn much. This guy is pure class. This guy just gets it. Everything that comes out of this guy's mouth is legit. The guy signs a contract with New Balance to be the face of New Balance. Him and Kawhi Leonard. Can you imagine that?
Wait a minute. Right? Wait a minute. That touchy subject.
Right? Yeah, exactly. This guy signs a deal because, by the way, here's the little caveat here. I need you to make sports free. I want you to fund sports in Fireball. So everybody has a chance to play sports. If we're going to do business together, that's what's going to take. This guy's a class act. He is that dude. By the way,
did you see the retire in his jersey? That's one more thing to add to the summer of Josh.
The guy he's raised right, man. He's raised right, and he's our quarterback. Fam, like there are some pieces of POSs out there as human beings at the quarterback position, at this position. This guy is just, you can't do no wrong. Like I don't think I've ever heard him one time put another player down, unless he's doing it in a trolling way where he looks at the back of your jersey and be like, yo, who are you? Not saying a word. All right, let me keep walking because I don't know who you're talking to. That's my guy. That's my guy. You gotta love him. So going into this game now, I know my man Mike was like, you're so negative. I just love when people think I'm negative when I'm being critical of the team, of things that should raise an eyebrow to people. But you know what I didn't mention that does not raise an eyebrow for me? The offensive side of the football. When you're led by Josh, and this is what I wanted to get into, this is the best way to look at it. So let me get into this, because I got a segment to get into in just a moment, and then we're going to get into it. There's that face. I don't know if you remember. Of course you remember it. There's a facial expression that Josh made when he scored, when we went up in that 13-second game, hits Gabe Davis, and he gets to the sideline, and he was just, I don't even have to say it. Everybody can picture it because they remember it. That's when I knew, I'm like, this mother effer cares, and it burns inside. So when he says, I can feel it, I can see it, the crunching of the snow, the -5 in the air, the people going into, bro, you know he smells it, tastes it, and he dreams it. Bro, this guy needs to get it. This guy needs to get it. He's my guy. I love him, and we got to keep it rolling. Now, I do want to get into this segment before we get out of here, because going into this matchup with with the Bills and the Ravens, there's matchups. We're talking about key matchups and what you want to see. I want to switch it. 5 players that intrigue you. 5 players on the Bills team that intrigue you when going into this game, where it's got you saying, okay, I need to watch. These are the 5 guys I need to watch. Is there any specific players that stand out to you before I get into my 5? Because the segment I don't want to get into with you is, you know how there's arrow up, arrow down, right? Name it, you know it, good or bad, right? Let's call it locked in or false start. So I name a player, and these are my 5. These are Rico's 5 players to watch going into this game. But not only are we watching them, but what are you locked in about this player, and where does the false start happen? First player.
So you got to give both. You got to give a good and a bad. Okay.
You got to give both. All right. Keon Coleman's the first player. Give me your locked in Keon going into this game.
Locked in. Dion Dawkins says, look out NFL. There's a new version of Keon Coleman. He was incredible during camp. Felt like every day we saw a tweet from a reporter saying, oh, there's Keon Coleman making another exceptional play. Another great day from Keon Coleman. He said as much going into the offseason. You know, the last year wasn't what I wanted it to be. And I'm working on making sure that's corrected. It sounds like from what we've heard, he's made the corrections. So locked in. Keon Coleman seems locked in. And it seems like he is ready to make that ascension. The false start, obviously, of course, would be that he doesn't show up the way I think the hype surrounding him this offseason would allow you to think he might. That would be the best way to put it. I think this year you're going to see him either really take another step, or you're going to be asking yourself afterwards, man, are we still going to be having the conversation where people are like, oh, we should have taken Ladd McConkey or whatever, because people have that conversation. Not to say he has a bad year. It's just that has he become the guy like Ladd seemed to sort of be last year for the Chargers? Yep. I think he still had a good year based on the circumstances last year. Was injured, didn't get a whole lot of targets. He averaged 20 yards a catch last year. When he had his moments, he took advantage. They were just few and far between. And I don't think he was incorporated to the extent in which he will be this year within that offense. So locked in, Rico, for me, it's that next step for Keon. False start. It doesn't mature into what we're hoping it does.
All right. For me, Keon Coleman, locked in, year 2 glow up. This is year 2. All right. We always hear about the sophomore year. You got to watch out for the sophomore year. No, let's lump in that what could have been sophomore year and rookie year. Let's lump it together, because when you ask Keon, how'd you think your rookie season went? Trash. So he's ready to glow up in year 2. So locked in. I'm ready for him to glow up. He's got a transformed body. He's ready to go. He knows what the vigors of the game is going to do to him. And I'm looking forward to that chemistry with Josh Allen. You've been hearing it off season, how these two have been kind of making plays together. So the chemistry with Josh Allen, and what it's going to be going into this game is going to be a big test. Whoever's in front of him, whether it's Wiggins or whether it's Humphrey, how is he going to handle that competition? Locked in. I'm ready for him to do it. Here's where the false start is for me. My man has some moments where chemistry sometimes looks a little off with Josh. I know we've been hearing great things, but there's some moments where there's some chemistry that's a little off, where then he's got these, I guess you want to call them concentration drops, where you're like, what? He dropped that easy one? Where he'll make a tough catch and then have a concentration drop. We need to clean that up so we can have those non-CeeDee Lamb moments, and I need you to cash in. So that's my false start in that, those concentration moments. And is he ready to take the leap for receiver 1? I think he is, but this is the year that he's got to show it to us, right? Year 2. There's no time to wait. I know people want to let these guys develop, but sometimes, man, we need you to take it now and take the reins now, and he's got the potential to do that. So that's Keon Coleman, my locked in and false start. Next player on the list, and it's a tough one, Tre'Davious White. And now that he's hurt, it's tough, but give me your locked in and your false start.
That's it right there. Locked in, healthy, false start, unhealthy. I mean, to me, that's just all it comes down to. I'm looking forward to seeing what he's got based on what we heard about him in camp. Looked like he really stepped up to where he not only was going to have that second corner spot to Benford. But of course, he earned it based on what we heard. So I'm thinking once he gets back, there's fair reasoning behind expecting success from him out on the field. But he's got to be out there. And time again in this man's career, unfortunately, he has not been able to stay out there. That to me is what it all comes down to with him, healthy or not healthy. And I'm hoping that we get, when he does come back, I'm hoping that we get him for an extended period of time, because we don't know if whatever he's dealing with could end up being more significant down the line once he comes back.
So I bring this topic up because this is going to be one of my Twitter threads. I had something written out a couple of days ago, but I was like, I'll just save it for Friday and send it out. So I'm like, you know what? I'll hit it on the show now, and then I'll post it on Twitter so you guys can interact with it. I had Tre'Davious White on here because this is before the injury. And what I had for him was locked in, beloved All-Pro. We know him, right? Everybody loves him. The fan base loves him. He's a character. He's a personality. He's a leader in the locker room. High IQ in this defensive scheme for McDermott. Experience. He's got all of that. That's the key in him returning to the Bills. You've got experience. You got a guy that knows his defense. Here's my false start. I'm not sure how confident I am in Trey White. I wasn't confident in him when we signed him. I liked the signing. I knew he was going to compete for it, but I was never confident in him. Now, do I want to be surprised? Great. But this injury takes away from all of this, because I wanted to really see what is he going to look like going into this game against the Rashad Batemans, the Flowers on this, the Xavier Flowers on this team. D-Hop is on this team. Some people forget that D-Hop's on this team. So that's what I really wanted to see. So false start. This was going to be a big test for my guy. And now he's hurt. He's dealing with an injury, a groin injury. So he's got groin, Achilles, and ACL. I don't know. It's going to be tough for me. So those are my locked in and false start. Next player on the list, Josh Palmer. Locked in, false start. What do you got?
I'll put it like this.
You're on the spot too, by the way.
Yeah.
I know, I'm putting you on the spot.
So with Josh Palmer, locked in, he's just a better Mac Hollins, right? He's a better version of Mac Hollins. Gets more involved in the offense than last year. What the Bills were able to do with Mac Hollins effectively being maybe their second target for, a good amount of the year. He led the team in touchdown receptions. What they were able to do a season ago with using him as much as they did was extremely impressive to me. I mean, the ability to be able to go out there and score 31 points with a wide receiving core that I don't think anybody would be begging to have on their team, I thought it was something. And I think if Josh Palmer can go out there, I'll put this two ways. Better than Mac Hollins' production, but also becomes what I think we were hoping Curtis Samuel was going to be as well. When the Bills brought in Curtis Samuel, I think the Bills were expecting more. I think the fan base was expecting more. A savvy veteran who seems like he's got a lot left, and it hasn't been that yet for Buffalo. And there's no reason to think it's going to be this year. Curtis Samuel hasn't been out on the field during the offseason here. Josh Palmer, I think that there's some potential there. I really do. And there's a reason why he rose up the depth chart. It could have been Elijah Moore, right? And it wasn't. It was Josh Palmer, and it was unarguable. He rocketed up the depth chart and locked in one of those wide receiver roles. So I have some decent expectations for Josh Palmer, Rico. I really do. Seems like him and Allen have a pretty good rapport they've built here during the offseason. Josh Allen said that Josh Palmer has the best catch radius he's ever been around. So whatever that means, I'll take Josh Allen's word for it. I think he'll know. And then false start would be, it's just another one of these receiver signings where you're going to forget we even did it, right? Where it's a guy everybody seems to know. If you're an NFL fan, a veteran guy who's had some really decent years in this league, joins Buffalo, and you forget about it. That would be the false start, where it just doesn't end up becoming what we hope a lot of these guys that are brought in would be. I mean, Curtis Samuel is an example, right? Right. I remember when we were sitting here like, oh, the Bills are bringing in Chase Claypool. Could he resurrect his career? Cut him a couple of days later. Is Josh Palmer going to be an X factor for Buffalo? That's the question.
And here, I feel a little different. I was actually really excited when we brought in Josh Palmer, because I'm like, we finally bring in a guy that can separate, can do all those things. And this is why I have my guy as Josh Palmer locked in, smooth separator. That's what Josh Allen likes. Think about it. Go back to Cole Beasley, go back to John Brown, guys that separate and get separation from DBs. You can't have guys like Gabe Davis. I can't get separation, but you know what I mean? He's a boom and bust player. So locked in, smooth operator, and can give Allen the space and respect that Diggs once commanded in this game. Remember, when Diggs was here, wasn't the fastest, wasn't the biggest, but boy, could he separate. And he commanded respect on that field. I think Josh Palmer has the ability to fill those shoes. He ain't no Stephon Diggs, but he has the ability to step in that shoes and give Josh Allen that go-to receiver that Josh has been waiting to have since Stephon Diggs left. Here's the thing. Can he be Josh Allen's go-to receiver? Here's where my false start comes. He's never been the guy. He was the Charger land, was never the guy. You had Keenan Allen, you had Williams out there, was never the guy. So he has an opportunity to be the guy, but can he take the role? You got Khalil Shakir, you've got Keon Coleman. He's got to step his game up all the way to be the guy for Josh. Can he do it? That's my false start. Never been the guy, but he's got the potential to do it. I'm locked in on Josh. I think Josh Palmer is going to have a big year, and I think that's what we needed from him. Now, let me
mention something real quick, though, because I feel like some people might hear me say, oh, we need Josh Palmer to be a better version of Mac Hollins, and some people might say, Mac Hollins,
like that.
That's not going to take a whole lot. Well, what if I told you last year, Mac Hollins had 31 receptions. Last year, Josh Palmer had 39. So it's not like it's this world of difference in terms of what last year's production was. Palmer had 38 the year prior. So, like I said, they score 31 points per game.
Hold on. You can't do that. I'm not going to let you do that. Josh Palmer was not the number one guy. He's going into this season as the guy. Any player that comes to Josh Allen elevates. So 31 receivers here, 39. No. You can't compare it.
But Mac Hollins wasn't the guy either. He wasn't the Bills guy. He was just. No, but Mac Hollins wasn't the Bill. Oh, you're saying like he hasn't been around a guy like Allen. Well,
and he's slated to be the guy. Hollins was here just to be a guy. Palmer is supposed to be the guy. Well, I get what you're saying, though. Totally. But you're right when you say hasn't done anything yet. We're about to find out what he can bring to the table when he's with a guy like Josh Allen.
I mean, he had a really damn good year 2 years ago. But, yeah, they just haven't featured him a whole ton. And that's another thing, too, with this offense. I'm wondering what that's going to look like. Like, will Coleman's targets go up significantly because they were minimal last year? Are we going to see more Kincaid? And then, Palmer's got to factor into that, too. I'd also like to see James Cook get more passing targets as well. So we'll see. But they run the ball too much now to maybe even think that way. So who knows?
Two more players, buddy. Joey Bosa. Locked in, false start. Go.
I hate to repeat myself, but locked in. Joey Bosa, locked in, healthy.
Yep.
False start, unhealthy. I think if Joey Bosa is healthy, he's a major impact on this defense. Very minimal snaps we saw in the preseason, but I saw some fire there. And he seems rejuvenated. He seems excited to be in Buffalo. Talks about the Ducks being in his backyard. Talks about hanging out with the players in 3 weeks in Buffalo more than he ever had in his entire time in LA, which is just crazy. Joey Bosa is a stud when healthy. Unfortunately, it's rare that he's fully healthy. He's fully healthy right now. He says he feels as good as ever. So that's obviously the locked in. I think a healthy Joey Bosa is a stud for this defense. Sure. And then, of course, the opposite of that would be unhealthy. And you have to preface it because, unfortunately, in his career, it's popped up time and time again. But healthy Joey Bosa, I think he makes a difference on this defense.
Listen, locked in, Joey Bosa, all-pro talent. We all know that. And he's here to reinvent himself in Buffalo. There's all the scrutiny coming in and what's he going to do? Like you just said, what are you going to do here? We know what you can do, but will you be able to do that? Can he reinvent himself in Buffalo and be the disruptive guy that we need him to be against this Ravens offensive line on the money downs? The money downs is what we need. Dallas Cowboys were missing Micah on the money downs where it's 3rd and long or 2nd and long and I need you to get after him. Go and get him. That's what I'm locked in on Joey Bosa. Like you just said, false start. He's a boomer bust player. He's like Gabe Davis, man, boomer bust. Either he gives you a big game or you see nothing from him. He could be boomer bust. And this signing of him is boomer bust. So that's where Brandon Beane was like, I'm taking my chance here. Maybe I got some in my second opportunity to get a big-time player after Von Miller. He's got to lock in. So Can he make things happen, or is this going to be another failed experiment by Brandon Beane? We'll soon see. Last player, Cole Bishop. False start, locked in. What do you got?
Locked in. Cole Bishop he's allowing us at the end of the season to say safety's not a question anymore. We're feeling damn good about what we got with Taylor Rapp, with Cole Bishop. We're no longer sitting around with another season behind us saying, we got to address the secondary again. That's locked in. Cole Bishop ascends to a point where you are feeling that second round draft pick is paying off in his first full year with the team. That's another thing too. I hate to keep saying this, but my God, with the amount of guys, health, he's got to stay healthy too. But that would be the locked in. Cole Bishop becomes the guy at safety at the end of the year that you don't worry about the position again going into the offseason. And then the false start would be he's just not ready yet. Not enough reps this offseason, maybe not 100% healthy, just not entirely ready. And as a result, doesn't have his best performance, at least early on. Maybe it takes some time, but I think that would be the false start, is that early in the season, we might not see the best version of him just because of how minimal he's been out there in the preseason.
Listen, we're on the same page on these things, right? For me, Cole Bishop, locked in. Here's how I'm locked in on Cole Bishop. Second round pick. You know he's got the size. You know he's got the physicality to be an upside player long term for these Bills. That's the guy that was supposed to replace Poyer and Hyde. At least come in and kind of take their place and kind of move with the defense along, especially with a guy like McDermott as your mentor, as your coach. You should be able to seamlessly come in. It's kind of been a little slow, but he's got all the up skills to do that. We're waiting to see it. He's got to make the plays this year. Here's where it's a false start. Like you mentioned earlier, injuries have slowed him down. He's not developed as much. Is he ready, right? Does he have enough time under his belt to really make an impact on this team? We have yet to see it. So let's hope everyone talks about the who's got the it factor. Let's hope it shows up in Cole Bishop and we can see it. But if it doesn't, we're going to be looking at what do we do at safety? Man, who's out there? Jabril Peppers, are you still up there? He's going to be like, price went up. We'll soon see. Cole Bishop, we need to see if you show up today and against this Ravens team. Let's go. False start, locked in segment, a new segment brought in, and my man Bot, I put him on the spot and he nailed it. I love it. Bot, you got to get out of here, right?
I got to roll. Shout out my brother-in-law, just got engaged. They're having a party, and I got to go attend it.
Let's close out.
You close it out, but hey,
yes, sir.
Not for long, because you know where I'll be. Sunday pregame, right where you're at on the Buffalo Fanatics YouTube channel. We'll talk more Bills Ravens then. Can't wait. Rico, I'll talk to you. Nearly 1,000 of you in here tonight. I'll talk to you on Sunday. Like. Cannot wait.
Hit that like.
Go Bill.
My guy Bot, he's got prior engagements. He's got to get out there. He's got to do what he's got to do, and I respect it. And you got me for another couple minutes because I'm going to close out myself. But I feel good about this upcoming game. Don't let people think and fool you that I'm being Mr. Critical again. Can I be critical of my team? Absolutely. Am I being negative? Heck no. Because I know what we have on the offensive side of the ball, and I certainly know what we have on the defensive side of the ball. And I know you guys know what we have on the defense side of the ball. So let's not play this game of just try to go in there and be positive. Bro, call it what it is. If you're worried about something, you say I'm worried about it. Because when it does happen, you're like, damn, like I kind of felt it. Doesn't it? Don't you feel, I don't want to say feel good, but doesn't it almost give you vindication as you're like, you know what? I knew I didn't feel good about this, and this is what's playing in front of me right now. This sucks. But when they surprise you, that's what's great. When the team comes out and says, you know what? I know that you may have thought we were out and counted us out, but guess what? This guy stepped up. And this is where players surprise you, right? Your rookie 6th rounder Strong comes in and can come in and all of a sudden you're like, who is this guy? Yo, he's locking things down. Don't forget, I think it was week 1 or was it week 2? Jamarcus Ingram. He gets an interception in the game. You're like, yo, depth player that's been on this team developing for a couple of years now. He's now gone out and showed out and did what he needed to do. So we've got some guys with some experience on it, but I just don't like the amount of injuries we have. Our kicker's hurt. Our starting corner's hurt. In Maxwell Harrison, he would have been penciled in as a starter. Trey White, now he's doubtful, most likely going to be out. So now you have a strong corner in Benford that was dealing with a groin injury. On top of that, then you have Cole Bishop that still needs time to get over. Maybe he still has that youth in him. And then you have the Riley vet and Taylor Rupp that's still extremely young, But you have him there that kind of gives you a bit of stability back there. But I need a little more. I want my defense to really show out. So this is where the leadership on this team is going to show up. Benford, Milano, Bernard, right? Greg Rousseau, Joey Bosa. You want those guys to show out. We're looking forward to it. We'll see how it all shakes out. We play Sunday night. You never know what can happen. We'll see how it all shakes out at the end. But at the end of the day, folks, it's going to be a fun one. I don't worry much about this offense. The O-line is intact, ready to go, healthy. That's what you want to see, and that's what you want to hear. Josh Allen, quiet assassin. He's going to go in there and do what he does, and hopefully we get a 6th year straight of him hitting 40 touchdowns and keep it rolling. That's what you want to see from this team. We know how special he is. We know that he's the OG in this game, and he's going into year 8 for, what is it, year 8? Bro, he's nasty like that. Love that player. Can't tell you how much I love him, and it's going to be great to see it. James Cook back, fresh new contract, but the biggest question mark that I do have on the offensive side of the ball, I'm confident in them, but the question that I do have is, will his receivers step up and give him what he needs? We can't have receivers shy away. We can't have receivers all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, turn their back. We can't have receivers disappear. We can't, because that's essentially what took place in the AFC Championship game against the freaking Chiefs. We had receivers that didn't show up. They didn't show up. And I don't feel they showed up enough for Josh Allen. And this is why this is going to be big this year. We brought in Josh Palmer. Kincaid should have a big year this year. Khalil Shakir is coming in to giving us another consistent year. And Keon Coleman, X Factor. Did we make the right decision on choosing Keon Coleman, trading back and grabbing him? Or should we have taken someone else? I need him to step up and show us that we made the right decision in grabbing him, and we go from there. So it's going to be a fun one. We're going to be back at it again, folks. We're going to be back at it again on Sunday with a pregame show. I need you guys to be there. Don't be late. Be there. And we're going to talk about this upcoming game. There's going to be a slate of games that we will talk about. You guys know that's how we do. We're going to be talking about all these players and all these games, and then the big game Sunday night is going to take place, and this is where we are going to have our fun in all of this. So before I get out of here, folks, I need you guys to understand. All right, give me a second here. All right, I wanted to read out something to you guys so you guys can see what I wanted to get into. But I don't know if you guys have been paying attention. Well, folks, our Discord channel is up and running. Our server is up and running. This is where you'll see myself, Bot, Bobby, my man Pierre. We were in it last night talking Eagles and the Dallas game. We were in there. We saw what took place live right there, the spit. So we're all in our Discord server talking about it. So go ahead and hit it up. So shout out to the Bing Squad. You guys know who you guys are, the Bing team, those that are members of the Buffalo Fanatics. You guys have come in and so support, and for years we've had guys that are in this chat right now that have been showing us love for years, and we appreciate it. My guy Walter's been showing us some love for some time. I'm in the chat looking right now. The Real's been showing us love for some time now. So we've got a lot of folks that have been supporting Buffalo Fanatics for so long. We appreciate you guys. So this is another way, right? So for our YouTube members that have supported us for over the years, you guys have heard us talk about having a Discord channel, having to talk about football all day and all those things. So this is a way that we can give back to you guys by you guys hanging out. And we've heard what you guys have wanted. You guys have wanted another place to kind of get more personal and chatting with us. So join our Discord server, man. You guys have heard us. We've talked about it. You know it. You guys have group chats and all that. Why not come to the Discord server and chat with us in there, and we could talk football all day. So we found a way to incorporate our YouTube members and the Discord. Come on and jump in with us. So we decided to create a VIP community over at Discord, right? So it's a cool way for us to just kind of talk football 24/7. And that's the thing, it's 24/7 all day, every day. We talking ball. So we chose Discord because it's the only platform that seamlessly kind of integrates kind of the YouTube stuff and making it super easy for us to get the YouTube members over to jump right in and chat with us. So if you're a member, you're in all the way in. So if you're already a YouTube member, jump in. You're in this. So all you need to do is accept the Discord invite. We send you an invite, accept the Discord invite. Description is going to be low. It's going to be below in the description. So click that link and it'll bring you out there. So connect with your YouTube, and you'll you'll unlock the full VIP access to our football community. So no extra steps. You don't got to do it. Just click it, get the invite, jump on in, and it's now going to be us hanging out talking football. So not YouTube member. If you're not a YouTube member yet, it's not a problem. It's not a big deal. You can still join the VIP experience. So jump in, simply just click that link in the description, and you'll be set and ready to roll. So that being said, the more people that come in, we're going to do giveaways. We're going to do all those things. We got a big giveaway that we're going to be setting up this Sunday. So be on the lookout. Be ready. Come on in, chat it up with us, and we're going to get this thing cracking. So folks, I'll give you more information as we go. Check the description. Hit that link at the invite. Come chat with us. We're going to be doing it crazy right before game days. We'll come into the chat. We'll vent our frustrations, and then me and Bot will jump onto the live shows. Pierre will be doing the same thing. The whole grab. Description and link. Go ahead and chat that. So that being said, folks, that's my time. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. We will catch back up again this Sunday. Enjoy your Sunday. There's a lot of football to watch. And then we'll get you guys on the pregame show. We'll get you guys on the live game show with my man Pierre. And then we got the post-game show. Don't forget, your boy still goes live for Bleacher Report. So come see me on the Bleacher Report with the live game, 30 minutes. I'm going to get my frustration out on there. Once I get warmed up, we're coming right back in this beat, and we're going to go. It's going to be a late-night game. We hope it doesn't go as late as the Dallas Eagles game. Golly, almost fell asleep. But with the Bills and Ravens, ain't no falling asleep in that sucker. You're going to be ready to go and get things cracking. So big way for us to continue the conversation. Join our server. It's the Buffalo Fanatics on Discord. And let's go ahead and click that link in the description, and we'll go from there. So before you get out of here, smash that like. If you haven't followed, you haven't shared it, do all that good stuff, and we'll catch you guys on the flip. So until next time, folks, we'll catch you guys on the flip. You guys have yourself a great night. It's your boy Rico. My man Bot had engagements. We'll catch you guys again. Ladies and gentlemen, go Bills, and we'll see you Sunday. Peace.